Welcome to the Craigslist overview. Let's talk about the opportunity. First, how do we make money with Craigslist? Well, there are generally two different approaches. First, there's a Craigslist arbitrage method, and then there's a consignment method. With the arbitrage method, we buy something at low cost from one place, and then sell it for more than we paid for in another. With consignment, we sell stuff on behalf of others, and then get paid for adding value along the way. There are four advantages using Craigslist I can think of, and why I think you can do this. First, it's very simple to do. You just need good people skills, plus a little negotiation skills, which is fun. You don't have to be a technical pro, and there's nothing virtual required. It's no to low cost to get started, and it's easy to repeat. You can scale it up, because there's no end to people searching Craigslist for deals. In fact, it's kind of a pastime for people. You just need to know what to sell, what to avoid, and where to get stuff. And we'll show you a couple of ways. That said, it will benefit from having a little bit of gear. You just need a basic camera, like one of these, ideally with a video mode. Any cheapo camera will do. 50 to 100 bucks or so. Recent smartphones too, like that's what I use an Evo, which works great. Costco is a great source if you have one near you to pick up one of these, or a good online source is Tiger Direct. A decent light will also help, in particular if you're doing video stuff. And it doesn't have to be expensive. You can find these cheap portable work lights from places online. Just do a search for Google, and the link is included in the course. And someplace online to store files and pictures, and video too if you're using that. I personally like Amazon S3 because it's a virtually unlimited hard drive in the cloud, which is owned by Amazon.com, which is reliable, and it's super inexpensive. Plus, it can host videos, images, and even web pages now. I'll also include a few templates and tools to help make working with video a little bit easier. There's a 4-step overview of profiting on Craigslist. First, you find good stuff to sell. And pretty much everybody has something they might want to get rid of. And we'll give you multiple sources. Second, you sell it well on Craigslist by leveraging what's already been selling as a guide to not sell stuff that doesn't work. 3, be prepared to sell other things on pickup and delivery to increase profits. Turns out that upsells work in this environment just like they do online. Then you repeat, scale, and wholesale. So what is Craigslist? Well, first you can go to craigslist.org and find all about it. A brief intro. Craigslist is an online classified ad site. It was started in 1995, so it's been around for a while. It services 570 cities in 50 countries in at least 7 languages. If you take a look at the whole web page, this is a scaled up top view. You can see that it's quite long. It covers a lot of different places. It's going and going. It's a consistent minimalistic feel through its 15 years. It's very community-oriented in feeling. It self-polices itself, and there's no banner ads. Today, it serves 20 billion page views per month. That's right, 20 billion pages. That's a lot. That puts it around the 37th most trafficked websites on the web, and around the 10th most trafficked site on the US. This is all from Craigslist, Wikipedia. It does potentially $150 million a year or more in 2007. That's a few years ago. Its income is mostly from paid jobs listings and apartment listings. Its major competitor is considered eBay, which, oddly enough, owns 25% stake in the company since 2004, and they've had several lawsuits over the years. And this is what I think is funny. It's all run from this house. Who would have thought that'd be a $150 million empire? So some things to keep in mind. Craigslist is social media. People treat it as a form of entertainment, almost like TV. It's a culture that defends itself from intruders. So you need to respect the rules and to fit in if you want to keep play it. If you want to sell stuff there. So let's talk about how people find and buy stuff on Craigslist. The more you understand this process, the better you can adapt yourself and what you're selling to meet those needs. They find stuff by three ways. They browse and enter through a category, they search Craigslist, and they search Google or find a post in Craigslist that is linked. Let's take a look. When they first get into Craigslist, there's different categories. They might choose one. And they pick one like video gaming, and that gets them to a results page like this, which has a bunch of items for sale. And they just click on one of those and see the actual ad, which is fairly simple. Just a headline, a brief amount of text, and a photograph and a location. They might search Craigslist. So for example, the same thing, if we were searching in video games for a PlayStation 2, they might search there, and then view results. And there's different ways to sort and filter. And they can also choose to checkmark which ones have photographs, which is important when we get into the actual course of actually trying to optimize our ads. This little pick thing here. And finally, they might search Google or some other search engine and find a page in Craigslist is linked or has ranked well. The category ranks. So for example, if we were searching for a local PlayStation 2s in West Hollywood, we might see Craigslist is numbered 1 inside of that category. And there's also detailed page ranks. So for example, if you have your page, if you do the right terms, it'll show up by itself. This is an ad I placed for a PlayStation 2. Notice it ranks for Katamari and PS2 when I was searching for it. Buying on Craigslist is one part stuff, one part adventure, and just mix it well. Buyers tend to be a lot more casual and indirect than you might find in other sites. Because if they absolutely need something right now, had money, they probably would just go to the store and get it. So you won't find things like milk typically being sold. It's a lot like a flea market, just online. A lot of people are looking for stuff they aren't really looking for. They can be exotic, it could be deals, like the first come to get the free fridge sort of thing, sitting on the highway. Hidden treasure. A lot of people are also searching for the missing piece to complement their house or a certain room. People typically troll Craigslist every week. Again, it's just people are there casually looking around. This casual has a downside. It means it's a huge flake factor. And this eats in your time and costs money. So we'll talk about strategies to avoid this. There's also sort of a desperate no other options group of people. Like people are hitchhiking their way from Los Angeles to sunny San Francisco. Like college kids looking for furniture, or young families with kids in a new house. Or people just utility. I need something and I can't afford it. I don't want to spend a lot of money on it. You need to respect the buyer's tendencies to sell them well. However, when people get interested, and it goes from a casual game to a very low-impact competitive sport. You might think of it as plundering loot, because people seriously get into the game. This is because buying from real people means it's not going to be a high-pressure sales. And everything can be negotiated, meaning they can win, actually. This is even expected. Like if you think about a normal store, if you go in, you don't really have a whole lot of choice about how much the price you paid other than walking out. You can't really negotiate with a salesperson because they don't own the gear. That's not true on Craigslist. And it's fun to buy this way. That's why people turn it into a game, because it's even better to get a great deal. People want the high and the drama of the story. A lot of the people I talk to in Craigslist who bought something always have a story attached to it. So the more you fit into that, the better things work for you. So let's talk about how you sell stuff on Craigslist. Let's go through the process once you're familiar with it. It's basically the same for products or services. It only takes about 5 to 30 minutes from scratch, depending on all you do. First, I want to let you know there are 3 communication channels I found. Craigslist is cash-based, meaning if you want to sell stuff, you need to be able to communicate with people and see them. And with people, you need to respect their preferred communication channels. And to sell most effectively, you need to reach out through each of these. People on Craigslist I've found have fallen into 3 camps. They're the phoners, which I'm guessing the majority of people who prefer to talk on the phone, even though the Craigslist is an online site. They're the webbers or the emailers, which I think are mostly geeks, but people who prefer just to talk through email. And then there's a newer generation of people who are SMSers. I've had people who conduct the entire operation through SMS if I left a phone number. I found out this by repeatedly including all three messages of the cell, SMS, and email on some of the ads. And what I found is people chose one and stuck just to that one. Here are the 12 steps. First, you pick the appropriate major city you want to target. Then you find the category you want to post in. Then you click on the post in the top right, write an ad for it, review and confirm the ad, post the ad, email confirmation, and accept terms of service. Then your ad goes live and you wait for people to reply. And then you finally close the sale. Let's take a look a little bit more detailed. So for example, if I live in Los Angeles, I might click on this to choose the location I want to target is Los Angeles. Then I want to pick the category of stuff I want to do. So in this case, I'm going to choose video games, which takes us into this category. And generally, if you're searching for, selling something, it's better to search first to make sure you're in the right category. Because we talked about earlier that people want to browse to find stuff. So if you post in the wrong category, it just won't be there. And actually, some of the people in the community will let you know that you posted in the wrong category or the wrong location. Because it's again, it pleases itself. Then you click on post in the top right, which we see right here. Then I'll ask you to write an ad for it. Again, we're going to posting title, the price, location, the category, a description, which include images and such. Then we'll click on continue. Then we'll review and confirm the ad. So for example, here's a screenshot of our ad. Just make sure looks at everything, looks okay. I'll show you how to make this type of images and also videos on Craigslist. Then we'll click on continue or edit again if we need to make changes. Then we'll post the ad. It'll take us to this email, which will ask us if we want to confirm. And then we'll need to go check our email. So for example, I have Yahoo. And I generally recommend Yahoo because you can use disposable email addresses, so you can easily prevent people from spamming you if you get somebody wrong. So we'll see something like this in the top, and then we'll see an email like this, which we have to click on this link to be taken back to Craigslist. This is just confirming that you have an email address so people can contact you. That will then take you to the terms of service, which makes you sure that you're just agreeing with everything that goes on with Craigslist, and then click accept if you agree with it. At that point in time, your ad will go live, and you'll get this green confirmation box at the top with a URL that you can check it out at. And this is just a preview of the ad. Then you just wait around for people to reply. To close the sale, if it goes well, all you have to do is answer the questions, answer objections. You can either negotiate dropping off or having the item picked up, typically in exchange for cash. You will often do a lot of negotiating on price and pickup. And once you get the goods, you get paid. And with consignment, you expect to get 20 to 45% of the profits. If it doesn't go so well, the ad will expire, but you can repost it easily with tweaks like in the price or the title so it's found more often by more people. If it really doesn't go well, just sell it someplace else like eBay or just give up. And then just rinse and repeat the process. Now here's some notes. You don't need to be registered with Craigslist to sell on it, but you do need a valid email address. And I do recommend that you use a disposable email address per transaction, otherwise people, or at least every other day or so that people don't end up, if anybody does get that hold of that email address and your communication with them, they don't end up with access to your real email address and spamming you a lot. You can only post to one area at a time with one email and one title. So you can't sell the same item on multiple locations with identical copy from the same email address. Which means if you're planning on hitting multiple cities, like if you're drop shipping or something, you should have multiple emails or vary the titles. You can change a posting at any time. And this is highly useful when you gain feedback on sales to update the ad so you're not being hit with the same questions over and over again. Ads are typically up for about 7 days. Posting can expire for 7 days after it's created. But Craigslist keeps them around even if they're deleted from the site. So you can even repost things 30 plus days later. Just search your email for the item and just click on the link, and then Craigslist will ask you if you'd like to repost it. So that concludes an overview of selling on Craigslist. Now we're going to get into the 7 case studies on how I actually made the $800 in 4 hours.